Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of AZ Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guest exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
Yeah, look what we got going on here. Your boy is back. Don't let the question mark fool you. He's his body betrays him. He's here. The same day he's here. That's no deception, folks. He's right there. Hey, everybody, welcome back. God.
No, I was going to say, unlike your Super Bowl commercials, this is not AI.
No, this is not AI. Welcome, everybody, back to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, episode 343. Your boys, but the 300s. I've been keeping good track on the ball, keeping it moving. And yes, last week I had to go solo, but that's okay because the duo is back, and
that shit
we
felt
are
like
here.
yesterday.
Just what?
That shit felt like yesterday.
Oh, it definitely flew by this particular week. That's probably because I've been having so much fun. That's usually how that goes. You have a lot of fun, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, man, we've been kicking it up, man. We did immersive game box yesterday. We did Noodle Village. That's my wife's favorite dumpling spot. I don't eat dumplings, but they have a chicken fried rice that I can get down with, so everybody's happy. My son is really into udon noodles. I said it really Japanese. Hey. And we're really into that. So yeah, so this has been a very cortisol, low-level week for us. So, of course, that means that it's flying by, and soon it'll be time for us to head back to that everyday occupational hell that everybody has to return back to at some goddamn point. But how's everything going over at the House of Deception? How you guys doing over there? Everybody's okay? Everybody good?
Yeah, they're surviving. Everyone is alive. That's all you can ask for at this point.
So far, the night is young.
Give it time.
Give it time, and something will happen. I have an intruder in my home. Right next door is our sister Lily. She's here. She surprised us. She's had some free time. Decided she wanted to spend some of that time with the nephew. So she's over there getting ready to watch a movie while your boys are in here getting ready to cook. We are behind. And my wife said, no, don't do it next week because people aren't going to want to listen to it next week. And I said, bitch, they'll listen to whatever I got to say, whatever I got to say it. So here's how it goes. Yes, we waited a week on the Super Bowl because we wanted to make sure that everybody was here and everybody was together and everybody was getting their shit off. That's why last week, I don't think you really cared about the Valentine's Day segment that we were gonna. I don't know how invested you were on that. We did a few of the tweets. I talked a little bit about what it meant to be a champion last week. We talked about that a little bit. We talked a little bit about that. And of course, I gave everybody some updates as far as the channel, as far as the Podbean, as far as all the things that we've been up to here on the show, all stuff you already know, things are in the work. But now today, you're back. So it's time for the fresh materials. Matter of fact, what are we going to talk about on the show here today?
Hey, what's going to be on the show today?
On the show today, we are going to be breaking down some not so nice comments. The internet has run crazy with the idea of Kevin Nash out here talking about Mr. Bojangles out here doing his dance. And yes, sir, yes, mouse. And we're gonna get into the madness of just the entertainment of all this that's been going on the internet with Kevin Nash and his comments about Javon Evans. We're bringing back the WTF segment. What the fuck is happening? We're talking about, I'm not even going to say his name. I've been fucking it up since before we even got him. I'm going to try it. You ready? It's in front of me. Tsutomu Yamaguchi.
That was way better than you were doing earlier. That's for sure.
Because I need the bright lights. I need that red light to be on. That's
do it live.
Your boy doesn't do rehearsals, baby. Just get into the field and do it.
What?
For the record, I said it correctly. That's the last time I'm saying it. I'm calling him Yamaguchi for the rest of this goddamn show. But for the second half, for that particular segment, we're talking about Yamaguchi and his worst week ever. This is old news, but it was new to me and it's new to a lot of people, so I won't talk about it here on the show. What a week this man had way back when in 1945. What a week. We'll get into what happened with him. And then for the second half, we're doing the Super Bowl conversation that we did not have last week. We're talking about Super Bowl commercials, and we're talking specifically about the halftime show with Bad Bunny. And as my wife said, you're talking about the commercials, you're talking about the halftime show. Are you talking about the game? No. Because I would like to.
You're a hater, by the way.
I would like to put it. Oh, I feel like Becky Lynch right now. I'm not the only one saying that game was the shit.
Yeah, I bet.
ESPN is saying it. First Take is saying it. Fox News, Fox Sports is saying it.
I was going to say we'll get there, but we're not talking about that. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
First of all, ESPN wants to sell high-scoring games, even though they're all football players, so they all love defense.
Of course they want to sell it because that's what we want to watch.
I don't give a fuck what Timmy on TikTok says about the game being boring because nobody scored. Back when we played football, those people who said those things were laughed at. They're not football players. Football is about smash mouth defense, baby. Goose eggs. You could put up a goose egg. That's a sick ass game. So
I have a counter argument.
This was a phenomenal game. I enjoyed it through and through.
I have a counter argument to that.
Sure, it's wrong, but go ahead.
NFL is a football league for sure, and those who put their bodies on the line should treat this in that manner. You're not going to hear me say any different. But that is not how the Super Bowl is shopped around to people. The Super Bowl is bigger than football, and this is the one game where that's the one thing we're supposed to fucking see. You want to put up goose eggs, take that shit to the first round of the playoffs, take that shit to week 13, not the goddamn Super Bowl. This is the game that everybody watches, and not everybody gives a shit about goose eggs. It was a great defensive game. As a matter of fact, if you watch both teams play, it was kind of a masterclass because both offenses had tremendous weaknesses, and they were exploited right out of the goddamn gun. There was no momentum on the other side. I was joking about it, but I'm very serious. The fact that the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks did not win the Super Bowl MVP to me is a goddamn crime because he was the only productive offensive player for 3 consecutive fucking quarters. He was the only productive offensive player for either team, and the fact that he didn't win the MVP is a crying shame. If I was him, I would be pretty pissed. Having said that, it's the Super Bowl. This is the game that everyone watches for the year, even people who don't even fucking watch football. That's what they want to see, and it wasn't provided to them. That was a JV football game. Both of those goddamn quarterbacks didn't have a clue what they were doing in the Super Bowl. None of them. There was no star power on either side. There was no perennial all-pro future Hall of Fame. Nothing. It was just two football
on offense, maybe. It was a defensive game.
There's
it was beautiful.
It's again pure football, like you said.
That's right, baby. Football.
I don't need pure football in the Super Bowl. That's not what's advertised to me.
Keep that same energy when we talking about wrestling.
We're sports entertainment. We're sports entertainment.
Where's your love for iguana then? The people want to see iguana.
Did you just compare this game to iguana?
Do you see my reaction? Do you see my look at your reaction? Listen, you have your hatred for Mr. Iguana. That's fine. But when we're talking about football, But when we talk about football, we're gonna go on my side of the fence here. And defense, that was a beautiful Super Bowl. Well done. Fuck anybody that just wants to see the ball go back and forth. Yay! Utah ball. Stupid. That was amazing.
You sound like one of those people that were like, you know what, Lizzo? You are beautiful, baby. You're beautiful. No, you're all woman.
No. All defense, baby. That was awesome.
all defense, baby.
It was paid to see that shit. That was free on TV.
It was
you got your money's worth.
It was
amazing.
First of all, TV ain't free. I'm paying for that internet service.
I know who you talking to.
Yeah. My internet fell off the back of the truck.
That's right. I still got that wire going to the neighbor's house.
Yeah. Wire. Oh my God.
You young people may not get that.
Yeah, I was gonna say having the wire go to that house is far more gangster than having the Wi-Fi password.
Which, although for the target audience for this damn Super Bowl conversation we're gonna have, those commercials, I got something to say about that, but we'll get there.
All right, I'm gonna let you go off, King. I'm gonna let you go off, but first we gotta talk about Big Sexy.
Dave, it's time to start the show. Let's begin with segment 1.
Big Sexy Kevin Nash. He's still out here doing shit, and you gotta give Grandpa his due, bro. You gotta let this man do his thing. I sent you the clip, and I saw the clip. I saw what he was saying. And before we even get into the actual comments, am I the only one? Like, does he have cognitive issues? Why did he sound like he was talking like off? Like almost, was he high?
He's a wrestler and he's old.
But he was talking just, he was like slurring his words. I don't know. It was coming across a little, I don't know.
A little racist?
Well, you know, he looks at there's a lot of people that think that.
Are we shooting him some bail here? Is that what he was high? He sounded weird?
No, absolutely not.
He didn't mean to sound racist at all.
First of all, if you're high or drunk, that's when the racist comments come out pure as snow, baby. Like that's when
shit.
When their inhibitions are down and they're just vibing, that's when the
I like that you said vibe, because the cackle that the other, who I'm assuming and could be wrong, was a white dude on the other side of the camera when he made the racist joke. 2 of them, by the way. I don't know if they went over your head. 2 of them back to back. The other guy just had that agreeable racist laugh. It was amazing. It was a great clip. They're gonna get views off of that one for sure.
Oh my God, it's all over the place.
Off of that one, dude.
It's all over the place, and we're just adding our clips to the whole shebang.
Absolutely.
But you did feel, I could tell by your comments now, that this was
This has nothing to do with emotion. I'm just talking facts. Listen, when you
put this in the racist category, these comments.
If you ever hear anyone, white specifically, anyone,
I know what you're about to say.
For that matter, refer to a black person and or their behavior as urban, that's a racist shot. Sorry. I was trying to listen to what he said. The Bojangles thing made me laugh. I didn't know the reference. I saw the video.
That's why I sent you the video.
I would not have been able. First of all, I think I maybe saw that once in my life a long ass time ago. I would not have put it together. And then after I watched it, after being entertained, by the way, because that clip was awesome. After that clip, I'm like,
that man was dancing his ass off.
I said, let me run that back. So let me run the clip back to listen to it again. And then after watching the Bojangles clip and then hearing him again, it's nasty, man. It's nasty. I wish it would have been more urban. So wait a minute. Let me clarify this.
Oh my God.
You don't like that he's. Let me say it a different way. He doesn't like that he's uppity.
Yeah, happy, energetic.
You don't like them uppity Negroes. He wanted more street.
Yeah,
street
more urban. Yeah,
gangster.
This black man is too happy.
Show that those hands work. You know what I mean? Give me
throw a good punch.
Yeah.
You heard the compliments that he could throw a good punch.
I didn't even know if they were fucking compliments. I was so confused. He could throw a good punch, but then what did he say some shit about jump kick somebody? And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
was that a punchline?
No.
I don't get it.
The gist of what he was trying to say in his own weird Detroit, Michigan brain, is that he liked the idea that if you watch Javon's work, the way that he sells, the way that he throws his punch, his despite the athleticism, his basics and his fundamentals are very, very good. He actually likes him as a performer. What he is trying to say, and this is what I keep commenting on people's videos, is that I understand what he's trying to say. He just ain't the motherfucker. He just ain't the motherfucker that should be saying this. Because it's just a bad fucking look. Because first of all, I understand what he's trying to say. I don't agree with it, but I understand what he's trying to say because I have heard that exact sentence in the past. When it comes to African American performers, or even if it's just African, just black in general performers that come into the WWE, there is this sense that they are supposed to be angry and intense and intimidating and just an overall just nasty, foul mouth, just like, for instance, I don't know if anybody remembers, because the other way that goes is that when the New Day got together, they were originally put together. They were very
colorful, very.
No. The colorful and the dancing happened when they first were doing, because it was a play on the stereotype. This was on purpose. They played it up like they were going to be like some sort of like church, faith, preacher type characters. I remember when they first got put together. As a matter of fact, even the fans, because they're trained into thinking this way, it was almost like they wanted a new nation of domination, like that kind of faction. So when they started doing like the church videos and like the whole, it was like, it's time for the WWE, and like that kind of tone. And then when they debuted, it was fucking rainbows and unicorns and dildos on their heads, and it was booty flakes and all kinds of shit. People were not fucking expecting that because it just wasn't the norm. For some reason, there is a fucking reaction amongst certain people when African Americans are just fucking happy. That's it. Javon, if you think about it, if you think about it, Javon's not even playing a character. He's just kind of vibing and being himself. He's a 21-year-old kid, which he's an adult, but to me, he's a fucking kid. And he's just vibing. He's uber athletic. He's got good size, a little on the skinny side, but he's still tall enough. He's got enough muscle on him. He looks like an athlete. He performs like an athlete. And Kevin is saying all this. He could work. He throws a good punch. The basics are there. He actually liked the fact, and it wasn't a shot to Javon. It was a shot toward a lot of the guys today who use that same flippy high spot style, where it's like he looks at Javon and goes, you don't actually have to do that. You can. You have the ability to, but the way that you work, you don't really need to. You can go back and forth between the two worlds. He said he looks like the kind of guy that can throw hands with you and can jump kick and flip on you and do all that stuff if he wants to. He was actually trying to put him over. The problem is nobody listened to the back end of it because they got lost in the beginning. And it's true.
Heard the back end of it, and it didn't fucking make sense.
It should have been ignored because he opened it up with bullshit. Once you say the phrase, he needs to be more urban, what's being deciphered is that you, as an older white man, is basically telling the world you feel like he's not really black enough, that he's too happy, that he's too giggly, he's too kid-friendly. That's not going to get over with the way that he could perform. He didn't try to connect it to the way that he does perform. He's saying that if he just straightened up, got a little bit more serious, changed the work around, that he can be tremendous. Which I'm not even ruling that out. He's only 21. That's why I can sit here and say I understand what he tried to say. Because as he gets older and he fills out more and he gets more experience, there's going to be a change in attitude and there's going to be a change in performance. But he's 21. And he's still in the show right now. He just qualified for the Elimination Chamber last night. Everyone's loving this guy. Absolutely no reason to change anything. So I think as someone who's been in his position before, former main eventer, former world champion, I think he knows that. This was clickbait. There was no other reason to say this because
it was stupid.
There was no you were asking for this kind of attention, which I'm not even opposed. I'm not even shocked to hear that he would even like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a surprise to sit here and go, "Oh, was Kevin Nash just saying this shit just to get clicks and likes?" Probably, yeah.
I don't believe that though. I don't think they sat in the booth and cooked this up and be like, "All right, you're gonna say these words." No,
I don't think it was. I don't think it was pre-planned. I'm just looking at the video as he's. If you watch the video as he's talking, he's taking a lot of mental breaks. I feel like that's him saying, "Ooh, if you say that, that might be a problem." But then wait a minute, what happens if it is a problem? And like he's working it out in his head. Because there was a lot of ums and there was a lot like he's trying to how can I softball this without sounding like a racist? And then he proceeded to sound like a racist. Because there was no way to say it. Because it's not your fucking place to say.
And even let's remove the racist part because you said most people didn't make it to the back end. Let's talk about the back end. You kind of went over it a little bit, right? But even that didn't fucking make sense to me. So let's take the racist part completely out and let's take his wrestling take on Javon Evans.
And the wrestling take is go ahead.
And first of all, we both agree he's dead wrong. Or at least.
He's dead wrong.
Yeah. He's dead wrong. He's dead wrong.
He's dead wrong.
First of all, Javon Evans is in one of the safest wrestling companies. One of. I don't know them all, so let me not blanket that. You can confirm if you want, but he's in one of the safest wrestling companies. We talk about this all the time.
Like as far as physicality,
the way the product works, like the things that they won't allow you to do because their intent is to preserve you now. That's how they operate with the wrestlers. They want to preserve you, which is why a lot of people from AEW don't like the product because they feel like everyone gets soft when they get there.
They feel it's too safe.
Exactly. So you have him with a low bump card in one of the safest places with a lot of fucking charisma. If they can shape him well, he's to the fucking moon. And one of the best things they're doing, this is a great move. You don't get a lot of options like this. We actually just talked about the ages of people that are in wrestling right now, with him being damn near on the bottom, if not like the youngest person right now.
Yeah.
If they can work with him, if he has this charisma, instead of him coming in and trying to give him this gimmick, they're kind of letting him just rock. And I feel like it in the moment, it's working for him. That's what we had this talk with here. I don't mind him looking so green because he is. He's 21. Dude. Don't go in there stomping your feet and acting like you're so. You're not that guy. You're who you being right now. And to the last topic about Urban, if I'm not mistaken, you showed me when you were here. You showed me the tape that got him into the business, or got him into the WWE, got him recruited. He was kind of acting exactly like the way he was saying that he wished he would do here.
That's because he's from the South. He's from the hood. If he wanted to be more urban, he could be.
At some point, I thought Javon was going to snuff the other guy. Like that's how their energy was against each other. So it's not even a question of like, can he do it? Because he looked great there too. I like this better. This is a better package, and it doesn't look like they're saying. It's not like how he's saying the opposite where he should be. I feel like you might even think they told him don't be, but I don't think they did. I think he's just. I hope for his longevity or whatever, or just as a person, I hope when he got this opportunity in his brain clicked and goes, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the stereotype. I'm gonna go in there with good vibes and good energy and perform, and that's what he's doing.
He's already shown glimpses of it. If you look at his NXT time, when he was cutting promos against Oba or against Ricky Saints or against whoever, he was giving you that edge. He was giving you that sass. He was giving you that talk back, where it was just like, especially against Ricky Saints, which you know where the fuck I stand on Ricky Saints. So when Javon Evans gave him the business, I was like, Kudos. Because that's one of the things Ricky prides himself on. I don't see it, but he continues to consider himself quite the promo guy. So here's Javon Evans, the ultimate athlete, cutting a better promo than him. So that's when I was just like, oh, this guy's the package. Yeah. If he wanted to be, he could go down that line. That's why I'm saying I'm not ruling that out. What he's asking for is an edgier, a little bit more of a tougher, more intimidating, solid, straight worker, which no, that's not going to work with him right now. Over time, as he develops, he gets his grown man body in, and you want to switch it up.
Even then, I hope he keeps it. But it like I'm a big fan of having something and then not using it. Like being able to do that. You can pull a story. You can drive a story with the ability to do that. To where if he does get into a feud with somebody, he can pull that. All right, enough of this, but still go back to it as long as he keeps playing, keeps building onto it. It can be his enough is enough. Now it's time to get serious type of shit later. But for now, he's rocking. This is a whole different generation of wrestler fans. These younger kids, these fans, they don't really see Urban as like the way Nash sees Urban. You understand?
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of these kids don't even know what Urban means when he says that.
They don't know that. If anything, that's why I kind of love these kids, man. These kids are growing up different. They don't see that shit, man. They actually kind of see the way he is now.
Yeah.
That's how the change is kind of happening. These kids are kind of like all starting to like blend into we get together a lot better and stuff like that. So it's just it's just a dumbass take, man. It is fucking stupid.
From top to bottom. I mean, he's a 60-year-old man, and it shows. Because what he described is not the norm. He even said it himself. He threw that one line out. He goes, I know they're on Netflix. I know we live in a world where we're past what Kevin Nash wants to see on TV. So then what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck does that mean? We're in a world where we're past what I want to see. What? Lynchings? Is that what you want to fucking see? God damn. Just fucking say it, dude.
He's trying.
I honestly don't think he was. I'm not trying to call him a racist because I'm not convinced that he is, but everything he said comes off that way.
It's one of those situations where he has enough friends in the industry where you kind of question whether or not he is or he isn't. But in the era and the time that he came up in, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of white guys that were friends with the black wrestlers that still said wild shit. Right? Like the shit that people give Hogan, where it's like, well, he wasn't a racist. He hung out with Coco and he hung out with Kamala. He goes, yeah, and he called him, and he probably called him an N-word every day of the goddamn friendship. That's because they were friends and together. Didn't mean that those black guys weren't putting up with bullshit.
Like every white guy back in the day had the one black guy who was different than the rest. You know what I mean? You're different than everyone else.
Yeah. I like you're not like those other ones.
Look at my black friend over here. This is my black friend.
I know. I'm progressive, right? I got a black friend over here. I haven't tried to chain him up once. We're just casual. We bowl together, and he helps me with he shines my shoes on Thursday. It's a great relationship. No, but he's. I understand the criticism. I don't agree with it, and I think it's stupid. But I understand where he's coming from. The problem is that he's not the person who should be saying that. You eliminate a lot of headache if you don't need to say every idea that pops in your head. We have a podcast that we do every week. We're at episode 343. Trust me, I don't say every fucking thing that's in my head. That's insanity.
Joe too long.
Jesus Christ. Well, it's all about being a professional, right? You gotta let them know. You gotta let them know that, Linktree, you go to /AJOUM and check out all the different ideas. And he's just saying, I really do believe this was just based on the footage, thinking about how hard he was thinking about how to respond to the Javon Evans thing, and then what came out of his mouth. I just sit here and I just go, there's no fucking way that he thought to himself.
It's just a bad take.
But it's
all around. The way it was delivered and the content within itself was just all bad.
Wrestling is becoming a lot, to some degree, almost like politics, where in terms of there's so many people that are involved that are like 60 and above that still try to have a hand in everything that's going on. And I'm not saying that your senior citizens and your elderly relatives should be ignored, but they shouldn't have power, and they shouldn't have too much of a goddamn voice about shit. Javon's out here popping the crowd with 6'7", and he's talking about being more urban. I don't think you know what that means anymore.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't have a clue what you're talking about. You're just saying shit at this point.
I'm not saying Javon is the future, but if they keep letting him rock, he is like currently he is a perfect puzzle piece for a generational transition. That's what I'm just trying to say. He is literally that age and a room full of elder stars and a new generation of fans who watch wrestling. He's in the right place at the right time. He is killing it right now. Stay healthy, stay consistent, learn. You shouldn't even be sniffing a belt. Put around them, sure, but don't even sniff a belt. Just get as much experience as you can absorb, brother. You are on your way.
He just needs ring time. That's it. Get the man some ring time. That's it.
Get him in the ring with an Orton to just learn him some shit, man. That's it. Teach him stuff.
Oh my god!
And please,
Orton, goodness gracious!
Oh my god!
Absolutely.
Imagine how high an RKO is coming out from.
Look at what Miz has done for Carmelo on SmackDown. The Miz has you look at Carmelo and you see an athlete a lot like Javon Evans, but Miz is living proof that it's just there's an adjustment that needs to be made when you go to the WWE. And more specifically, when you go to the main roster, there is something that these athletes don't have off rip that they need to experience and see and be coached into. And look at Carmelo now. This guy is cooking on SmackDown right now. And I think, like you just said, with Javon Evans, we need that veteran presence. We need that guy that's going to be in the ring with him, just dragging him through these matches and calling it for him. This is when you're going to do this. This is when, okay, now bouncy, and I take the fucking Hurricane Rana, and then you hit me with this, and then here goes an OG cutter. Wait, nope, I got you blocked, and then and then okay, and then it starts to register, and you want to get it to a point where he starts to do that with other people, where he goes, oh no, and then you come this way, and then I'm going to catch you here, boom, yeah, and that's how you learn to be. This is why. No, I'm not gonna do it. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it. I was about to.
Got baited. You're about to get baited.
I almost did it. But I'm not gonna do it. God damn it. I'm not gonna do it.
Stay high. Stay high. Keep the road high. Keep the road high. Stay up. Stay up.
Because that other place had an opportunity. They had an opportunity, and they did chomp it dirty. So I'm not even gonna bother with it. It's just. Hey, that's what you signed up for, brother. I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll move on from that. But, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to put Kevin Nash in that category, that's up to you. I put him in, like I said in the comments times, old man yells at cloud. I don't really need to.
Yeah. Right now, he's stupid. Now, if he starts to snowball off this shit and keeps popping them off, then I'm going to put you in a bucket. Before I'm going to let you have the one in school.
If he continues to have takes like this moving forward, then my thesis was correct. He's doing it for the. He's
and he'll be out of here. He'll be out of here. He'll be doing great. He'll be doing fantastic on the views. But
click this, get it?
If that's how you want to do it, then that's fine.
All right, let's head over to the next segment.
Let's keep this show going. It's time for segment 2.
It is time for segment 2, and Yamaguchi-san down here. He had himself a bad week. Now we're gonna return. This is the return of the What the Fuck segment, and we're doing video now, so I figure we need a transition when we do these reoccurring segments. So I needed a what the fuck kind of transition, something that made you just go, "What the fuck is that?" So let's transition.
Oh man, that's deep.
What in the fuck is he doing?
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Where was that from? Why do I feel like I was with you with that video?
You were. That was.
Yeah, why do
I think that
remember
was.
What the fuck
I
was
think
that?
it was like Playland. We went to like
What the
Playland.
fuck? Hey, look, it worked. I said, what the fuck was that?
It did work, you see, and I was that I looped that one clip because it was a clip that I did for some video or whatever, and then I added the what the fuck. But we're transitioning, right? We're doing more of these. We're getting into it, more visuals, the more professional look, right? And this is the return of the what the fuck segment. And before we get into this one, I have an apology I have to make because I like as you missed it from last week's update. I released on the channel, I think, episodes 1 through 65 complete now is on the YouTube. Those 2 episodes that I couldn't get on before, I got them on. I sat down, I edited everything. YouTube said, okay, this is acceptable, and it's on the channel. So 1 through 65, the first 65 original episodes are on the YouTube channel, and I have scheduled all the way up to 80. Okay, but in doing that, I've had to review some of these older episodes, so I started clipping things out. Old what the fuck segments, a couple of the what ifs, some rest in peace tributes that we did. I cut them all out. I'm putting them in their own playlist. So I've put together quite a few what the fucks that are on the YouTube channel right now. You guys can go check them out. One what the fuck segment I did not add to the pile because after listening back to it, it was an incredibly difficult listen because of the topic, the topic of conversation. It has something to do with some guy who got caught trying to kidnap a kid or something. And I was like, it was just like weird circumstances. And I don't know, I was giving the details. The more I listened to what I said, this is going to get flagged for sure. So no way. I didn't eliminate it from the original episode, and it didn't get flagged on the original episode. But I knew that if I cut just that one segment, there's no chance it passes. So I didn't add it to the playlist, but it is on the original episode. So it wasn't like I did anything crazy. The story and the subject matter I felt like was like, there's no way that this gets passed to moderators. So I just left it alone. But this one I think will do just fine. So Yamaguchi-san, he had a bad week. I had it in front of me a second ago, but the exact hold on, 1, 2, 5, drop in Japan. So we have to take you to the land of the rising sun. We're taking you to Japan, and we're taking you to 1945. The gentleman in question here is a mechanical engineer. He is a resident of Nagasaki, Japan. And on August the 6th, 1945, it just so happens he had some business to take care of in Hiroshima, or however the fuck you people pronounce it. He had some business to take care of on August 5th, and he went down there to handle said business. And once business had concluded and he was on his way, boom! A big, bright, shiny light appeared. Now, there was one guy, the link that I sent you, where he kind of got a little artistic with the way that he explained how all this went down. But the actual natural facts is that this was during wartime. A plane had gone over the mainland, which was unusual because back in those days, and even the days before it, rule of thumb when it comes to the military, when it comes to wartime, they keep the war within the military. Not a lot of civilian interaction when it comes to wartime. So seeing a B-52 bomber over mainland was a little alarming, but it is what it is. And then a little tiny speck comes flying out of the bottom of that thing. That's odd looking. And then that little speck hits the ground, and all of a sudden it just says, "Hakudu." Quite possibly the scariest sight a human being will ever get a chance to witness, if ever so briefly, because witnessing it means blinding yourself for a few minutes.
If you see it, you usually don't live to tell.
Yeah. What was it that said? If you can see the flash, it's already too late.
Yeah.
So he was in Hiroshima when the bomb goes off. The blast knocks him into a mud hole and destroys everything within a 5-mile radius. Obviously, you guys know out there how a nuclear blast works. And he survives. He takes damage from the initial burst. He gets radiation burns on his body. He gets the lesions, but he survives. He's surrounded by radiation, what is can only be categorized as a lethal dose, and he's just up and about, and he's just like, what the fuck just happened? He's knocked loopy. He gets taken to a medical facility, him and a bunch of other people. They're trying, it's a nuclear bomb, so the hospital is a little busy. So they're taking care of him. They're doing whatever it needs to do. He spends the night in like some bunker or like some underground safe house. And he goes, I can't stay here. I got to go home. So the fucking guy goes home. He hops on a train and he heads back home to Nagasaki. About a day or two goes by. And this is the killer part of the story, folks. And I want you to understand, I'm Chinese, not Japanese. We all get put into the same category of Asian, but I can promise you, I am not, nor will I ever be this Asian. This fucking guy went back to work. He went back to work. He just survived a nuclear bomb.
No time off.
He's got the shakes. Shit's happening. But goddamn it, this paperwork's not going to file itself. So he comes back to work. And when he comes back to work, the bosses can clearly see the boy ain't right. something wrong with his head, right? Something going on. You look off, all right? You got some bandages going. You look like you've had a shitty day. Now, as crazy as it may seem to some people, this is way before the age of technology and the way that we have it today. But there were people who were not aware at that time. It had only been about 2 or 3 days that Hiroshima just got hit with a nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb at that time was just, what is that, right? Like theoretical shit. No one's actually seen what that looks like before. So he didn't know that Yamaguchi was in that bomb. And while they're having this conversation, flash. Oh shit.
That PTSD kicked in quick, bro.
Quick. Because he didn't even listen, and I don't blame him. This isn't a shot to him. He saw the flash and immediately knew what to do and didn't bother to save a fucking soul. He just said, nope, I know what to do. And he went right underneath that desk, and everyone in that room died but him. Second fucking time in 1 week, he was exposed to the radiation and the impact of a full-on nuclear fucking blast. And the kicker to me, the cherry on the goddamn sundae, he survived the second bomb better than he survived the first, but that was because he wasn't exposed to the elements the second time, right? He just got mollywopped like everybody else. And despite all of this happening, he got nervous about his family, his wife and his son. He has a wife and son. So in the middle of this mushroom cloud in the sky, he starts huffing it to try to get home to see what's going on with his family. And he gets to his home to see his home in shambles. It's just been obliterated. Didn't stand a fucking chance. And he's distraught. And oh no, I just lost my family and this, so on and so forth. And we come to find out that the wife and son weren't home. They went off to a nearby market, which isn't so near because it's the 40s and it's Japan. It was a whiles away, but they went to a market to go get him ointment for his burns. And when they were there, the bomb went off and they went underneath the market, and they only suffered minor injuries, some cuts and bruises, but they were fine. They lived. And so the family as a whole, it must have been like Die Hard. Like, why does this keep happening to us? I don't know. Who did you piss off that they keep doing this shit to just you, my guy? Why does this just keep happening to you? I don't know. That guy, by the way, who survived 2 nuclear bombs, was exposed to all that radiation, lived to the age of 90 years old, bro. 90. He lived a long life after that. And of course, they were like, well, he became a nuclear disarmament advocate. No shit. No shit.
We got the credentials.
Because who you kidding? Because to come out of that and all of a sudden be like, you know what? I didn't like the experience, but those bombs make sense. Those bombs make sense. I'm just saying. They had to do what they had to do. No ill will. No ill will. We're at war. None of that was happening. None of that was happening. Now, you said you had made mention that you've heard of this story before.
Yeah, I don't know what I was watching. I was watching something or someone told me. Honestly, I thought it was, we talked about it, but I don't think that was the case. But yes, I watched the videos too, just to kind of refresh myself on it. But yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. The crazy thing for me is, like, I don't know, this may not be the craziest part of the story, but like, his wife left the house and was out far enough to kind of get touched by it, but like, she would have been cooked if she was fucking home to get him some ointment. And my dumb ass started laughing because I'm like, these women today would fucking never. They asses would have been cooked. They would have been done sitting at home with their Starbucks talking about sending me a text to pick up the ointment.
So yeah, I'll get the ointment in a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, I'll rub it on you. Just bring it here. Bring the ointment. Actually, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Because I care about you so much. I'm gonna DoorDash it. It'll be here before you get here, and I'm gonna rub it on you.
Great. Right, now you're killing the DoorDasher.
Damn. all for a $5 run, too. That sucks.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this question: if you're a DoorDasher and you're in the car in mid-order, right, and you see that flash of light behind you, are you still completing that delivery, or what's
got to, bro? They're gonna ding you on it. You need to listen. You can go check on your family, but you need to put that bag on the doorstep, take a picture of it, and go straight home. And dash right away, go straight home. But you can't lose that percentage, bro. You cannot go down to 70%.
But the world you're entering now is a world where those statistics might not even matter.
No, yes, because because listen, what if that bomb hits your workplace? Now you don't got a job. You need that DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make a couple dollars. You need before you gotta apply to some new shit. You need that percentage, bro. You gotta drop off that package. That ointment's gotta go. That shit is all rubble. The place is all rubble. You just put the bag in front of the rubble, take a shot, and just fucking dip.
It's the Tom Hanks with Castaway when he delivered the FedEx package after he was rescued. He was like, really though, like. They're not even residents there anymore. Like, it's done and over with. Like, it's like rain or shine.
But his percentage was fine. That's what matters the most. You need your percentage, bro. I'm telling you, they try to take it from you. You gotta keep it up.
So just as a little small piece of information that I'd like to slide into this What the Fuck segment, because we're talking about the atomic bomb, right? There's a movie that came out with Oppenheimer that my wife and son absolutely refused to watch. I went to the movie theater on my own to go watch it.
Really?
And I did. Yeah, I wanted to watch that movie so goddamn bad. I'm a history buff. I want to know what their version of the story is, because it's a movie. So it's not going to be like, I'm not watching the History Channel here. This is going to be performance art. You know what I'm saying? But I still wanted to kind of get a vibe and kind of, I just wanted to see theatrically how that would feel. And they really built it up. And one of my takeaways from the movie, it is also one of my takeaways, because like I said, I'm a history buff. I watch documentaries on shit like this all the time. And that's why this one struck a nerve with me, because if you think back to that first bomb, the one that hit Hiroshima, they nicknamed that one Little Boy. That was the name of that bomb. Everything they had, resource-wise, secrecy, just the word of mouth, everything they had went into that bomb. And when that bomb was released off of the chain the first time, when it was just a test, and it's in the movie, if you watch the movie, you'll see how everyone reacted to the test bomb. when that first bomb went off, first time ever, the men who saw that bomb go off with the special goggles and the whole shebang, they were quoted as saying that they had never seen anything like it in human history. And since then, the science will back that. Up until that point, remember, we were a civilization of rocks and stones and sticks to the atomic bomb. It changed their lives forever. And it's a scary thought that in Japan, when I was watching this footage of Yamaguchi, there is a section that is that you can tour and you can visit, but you can't interact with. I actually saw it on my Oculus through the Wonder app. There's a place called the Walls of Shadows. And what it was is that when the bomb went off, the flash from the bomb, when it incinerated their bodies, it took almost like a picture of it and it hit the wall.
Like a silhouette.
Like a silhouette of like people, either with their hands up or whatever they were doing when the bomb went off, that silhouette hit the wall. This was in 1945, it's 2026, and those shadows are still there. They just sectioned it off now and they keep it untouched and try to keep it like a landmark. When those bombs were released in Japan, it's considered, even to this day, the most destructive act of war in the history of the world. So what I would like to present to the people is to let you know that bomb that we dropped, the one that changed the world, the one that was where, what was it, the most famous quote from Oppenheimer, that he is now the eater of worlds. That bomb is a speck. It is an annoyance. It's a flea on the back of the animals of the bomb world of today. Because the toys that we have today are far different. I'm going to show you what I mean. Just as an example. And I'm going to take this banner away real quick so you can see the whole thing here at the bottom. Can you see that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Down here on the bottom, Hiroshima was a 15 kiloton nuclear weapon that went off in that mushroom cloud that everyone remembers and talks about. The one that engulfed almost the whole Isle of Japan. That only rose to 20,000 feet, which for the record is a lot of fucking feet. You'll see here next to the Nagasaki one, 21 kilotons. So that first bomb that Yamaguchi experienced was a bad bomb. When he went to Nagasaki, he felt an even badder bomb. This was a bigger bomb. If you notice, commercial airline altitude is around 30,000 to 35,000 feet, slightly above where a mushroom cloud would have been for those earlier bombs. But since then, and this is not the total, I'm showing you just 3 here. I have a picture somewhere else saved where it's more. Little boy that was dropped in Hiroshima wouldn't even make the top 10 today. But this is here. This was kilotons. Then we have one that was 1 megaton, Licorn. That was about 50,000 feet. We have a 15 megaton, Castle Bravo, which takes us well over 100,000 feet. And so far, the king, the Tsar bomb, 50 megatons. That mushroom cloud reaches over 200,000 feet. So the reason why we know this Tsar bomb is 200,000 feet is because it's been tested. And when they tested it, even the people who did the testing actually said that they feel like they did damage to the atmosphere. That was just the test. We let one of these bitches off the chain again, whether it be test or no test. I could be coitance for everybody. And for Yamaguchi, I'll put the banner back up, by the way, so I don't lose track of the editing. When Yamaguchi survived these bombs.
That's not the right one.
Oh, no, it's not the right one. You're absolutely right. We're off of that shit. When we set the bomb off those 2 times combined, if you put the kilotons together, they don't equal close to the top 10 that we have now. So while they were considering him in the video a miracle, he had an angel on his side. As the comments were like, this guy is the main character. He's got all the plot armor. He can't die. This guy is He is him. All this stuff. Given if that situation was given today, zero chance of survival. Zero. One of those Tsar bombs takes out a whole country. Just out. Like Russia would be wiped off the face of the fucking earth. If they dropped one of those sons of bitches in Kansas, we'd feel it here on the East Coast. Like, no, it's like it's game over. That's it. That's why the closer we get to nuclear warfare, the scarier it gets, because it's like it's not going to affect only the people you were trying to hurt. It's going to affect everybody. Chernobyl, which is what we were talking about before we went on the air, that was an accidental explosion, and that town, that city, whatever you want to call it, is uninhabitable today. And that's one. One. If you look at the comic books, or if you look at movies where they just all of a sudden just let like 8 or 9 off the chain, and you just see little targets coming toward the U.S., forget it. It's fucking over. We're all little Yamaguchis just trying to make it happen, but it isn't, man. It isn't. But anyway, that is the What the Fuck segment right there. We're going to head off now into a quick little commercial break. But when we come back, we're talking the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Hey guys, AJ Orsini here, and I am super excited to let all of you know that we have completely rebranded the official OUM YouTube channel. We have changed the handle, we've changed the look, we have changed the feel and the vibe of OUM's exclusive YouTube channel. Now, all you need to do to access this YouTube channel, it's very, very simple. You go into the search bar, you type in OUM Network, or you can type in youtube.com/@OUM Network. It'll take you right there. This is going to be all-encompassing, every aspect of OUM officially on YouTube. It's going to be the episodes, it's going to be the shorts, the reels, the independent spotlight, it's going to be the OUM Minute. It's all of your OUM needs on the official YouTube channel. Check it out today.
Segment 3 is here, and I can't wait.
Super Bowl commercials. It took place this year, as it does every year. Super Bowl commercials have become an institution in the world. The big game of the Super Bowl. And this man has been holding it in for 2 whole weeks. So
I don't know about all that's a big sell, but like I don't know. I actually rewatched. Or not rewatch. Let me rephrase that because there's a point to this. I watched the clips that I sent you, and I started with this year's.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as bad as I remember. Now, the reason why is because a lot of the bullshit was cut out of the video that I sent you. The video I sent you had. Okay, so my biggest issue is that the Super Bowl commercials didn't really feel like Super Bowl commercials, at least from what I remember. Okay. And that's why I sent you
older ones,
past 3 years, because I was curious myself, like, is this a new thing? Is this kind of like the way it's been? I'm not sure. And then I went back 20 years and did another 3 of 06, 05, and 04.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think it's too far off. Now, I don't think it's too far off. I would be a liar if I'm not saying I would lean more into nostalgia when I see the 06, 05, and 04.
Okay.
I do think those were there were more over the top commercials.
Okay.
At least from my memory. I could be completely wrong. That's why I'm trying to be careful here. But when I went back and watched the 2026 ones, it wasn't this year. I guess it wasn't that bad. My problem with the commercials is that there were a lot of just normal commercials. That I don't remember too much of. Maybe you can help me out with that. Maybe your memory's a little bit better. But like, I felt like there were just a lot of normal commercials that would have been on any other day. And I always remember people going really hard on like satire or funny or serious for their specific commercials, and it just felt like so many of these were average, just normal commercials. Also, in comparison to the 2026 and the last 3 years, 25 and 24, this one obviously had way more fucking AI than I think the 2024 one had made mention to AI once. 2025, not to say that they didn't, but in the clip that I sent you, I don't think there was any AI mentioned in it at all. And 2026 not only sold you on AI, playing in your face, by the way, literally making commercials based off of your concerns about AI and ending it with it's not that serious. But then actually having AI commercials where they were having, and this is what I made mention to before, how like it's really weird that we're the target now. Like when we were kids growing up, like it was funny stuff, but like there were nuanced things we didn't know about. There were people on the TV from those shows before us. So now to see all the AI with all the actors and TV shows and movies that like we grew up with, it just felt weird being like the older target audience. I don't know. What did you think about the commercials this year? They grew on me. There were a couple bangers that I didn't really realize in the moment.
Far more AI. I'll give it to you. Far more AI than I anticipated. They felt, to your point earlier, and maybe that's why I kind of take the commercials these days different than I did in the early 2000s. Like when I watched the nostalgia ones that you sent me, because I watched them backwards. I did 06, 2000. I did 20, 26, 25, 24, and then I went 06, 05, 04. Like I just went in the reverse order.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Just to kind of see like if there's a decline or like whatever the case may be, right? Just to see how different it is. And 04, 05, what stood out the most was 04, 05, 06 did have over the top commercials for sure. But I didn't feel like a lot of those people in the commercials were people that I knew. And then if you look at 24, 25, 26, it's almost all celebrity based.
We were the
but the joke in the new ones is, for even though it's a lot of celebrities, the joke trend seems to be it's celebrities doing either regular or mundane things. So it's like, for instance, in 2026, my commercial of the year, I'm sorry, I went full cringe. I accepted the cringe on top of I just engulfed myself in cringe. That Dunkin' Donuts ad had to be one of the funniest fucking things because,
really,
to your point, because
AI ad, they got you, dude. Oh,
because
they got you, dude.
Because here's why. To your point, what you said about us now being the target audience, that nostalgia bubble was for me, right? Urkel was in there.
Stefan was in there.
Yes, excuse you. Yes, excuse me.
Right.
Stefan was down there. They had Jennifer Aniston, everyone who was in this clip were, first of all, were all de-aged. Then they were all artificially created with their outfits and da da da. Tom Brady and being in the windows, like, you like apples? How do you like these nuts? And I'm just like, what? That's not the line at all. They did another Dunkin' Donuts one where Ben was doing the boy band thing with J-Lo. And then Matt Damon
was funny.
Matt Damon was just like, it's really hard to be your friend, dude. Like, he just doesn't want to do this.
It's like, you said you were going to support me.
Yeah. And he was reading it. He was like, how do you like them apples? I'm so sorry. I didn't know what this was going to be.
Dude, the multiple jokes, the layered jokes on that. So he's like, you're distracted by the pinstripes is fucking hilarious. And then when they were leaving, they were like, okay, you guys can go. Tom, you can stay. And Tom stayed.
And then Tom stayed, right? Exactly.
I mean, you have to do what she says.
Everybody goes, but Tom, you can stay. I do enjoy. Like, there was a new commercial this year with Shane Gillis and Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning got the last beer. So they're like, well, at least we got this keg, and then the keg goes down the hill, and everyone starts tumbling down the hill to try to get the keg. And I'm laughing because Peyton goes down the hill. I'm saying, well, why is Peyton? He's the only one with a beer. He's the only one here who doesn't have to chase after the cake. I don't know. It was weird. It was so funny because I was watching the game in and out. I was waiting for the halftime show, right? But I was watching the game intermittently. It was definitely on the background while I was doing work. I was looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down. I didn't even watch the commercials.
You didn't watch the commercials?
I didn't really. No, it wasn't until you hit me up and said that you wanted to see them. Wanted to talk about them that I looked them up. And I looked them up and I watched them and I was like, okay. And then I started kind of getting into them because now I was watching them like in a row. So now I'm like vibing to them and watching them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely it was cool. It was cool to kind of like just go down that path. No Marvel trailer though. I'm pissed because they did like you said earlier about how you felt like there was a lot of regular commercials. All of the movie trailers that I did see were already out. There was nothing really new released as far as that goes. Some of the product commercials got a little creative, but as far as the entertainment commercials, no new anything.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh,
yeah. I don't know. I really liked so from watching these back, Uber Eats have been on fire with that whole football sells food shit. I love that. That shit is so good.
Uber Eats.
Shout out to Michelob Ultra. Their commercials have been pretty consistent through and through.
And here's
a
point. I want to see if you agree with me or not. Because remember before you were saying you felt like the older commercials got way more creative. They were going all out for those commercials. And now we're starting to feel like they're a little bit more mundane. They're a little bit more, they're not as crazy. They don't really go for it as much. Can I drop just a thought on why that might be? Because if we're being honest, Super Bowl commercials are the most expensive for marketers, right? To purchase time during the Super Bowl is like the most expensive bracket of time that you can purchase as an advertiser. I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe the reason why they're putting less effort into them is because it doesn't really matter. Because it doesn't really matter. You just said earlier, shout out to Michelob Ultra. What a creative commercial. They always tend to do something really, really cool. I've never purchased a Michelob Light in my fucking life. I don't know anybody who's ever had a Michelob Light. The advertising and being creative is one thing, and getting attention on your product and getting attention on your eyes. But is it resulting in sales? Because if it's not, I can start to see why.
In the new world, probably not. And that time, probably more so, I would imagine. But today, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. But I think one of my, it sticks out to me. I don't know, like I hesitate saying it's my favorite, but I really liked it. It even made my wife laugh. She was fucking dying. The Melissa McCarthy one.
the elf.
No. So it was like a Spanish thing. It was like Melissa McCarthy as Melissa McCarthy in Melissa. And the Spanish guy's like trying to talk to her in Spanish, and he's like, "Do you speak Spanish?" She's pretty much like no, so he like puts lip gloss on her lips.
She starts talking in Spanish.
She gets more and more Hispanic as the commercial, and then as the doctor's like putting lip gloss on her lips, they get really close, like they're gonna kiss, and then they turn and do that infamous Spanish, like shocked in Spanish scene, and the lady's like, "Oh." Yo, that shit has me dying every time I watch it back and forth, man. She is funny, dude. She cracks me up. But after, like I said, after going back and watching it again, I think it was more in the moment because there was a bunch of bullshit in between so many of the actual creative, funny commercials that like it didn't really feel like the commercials were that funny. But when they stitched a lot of that shit out and you just got the video of like the funny stuff together, right, it was relatively on par. It wasn't nearly as bad as I like remember it in the moment. So no, it was good. It was all right.
See, now I'm pissed that we didn't get you in the moment because you would have roasted this shit like a week or so ago.
Oh yeah, I was in my this AI bullshit. Yeah, I was in my AI bag there. That was kind of annoying.
There was quite a few Super Bowl commercial moments throughout history where because you set me down the rabbit hole because you sent me playlists to like that were all clipped together. But once I started watching one and then one and then one, all of a sudden now I started getting recommended from like other years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, man, there was one where like the horses were playing football or some shit. And I was just like, God damn. Because what was it? Budweiser, I'm assuming they just got grandfathered in. They get time every year. Budweiser. They something about Budweiser and the NFL. They just love each other. They always manage to find time. Some of these new products that get engaged in the Super Bowl, because it's a tough. Today's advertisers have a tough job because the Super Bowl is where it has the most eyes. But if we're being real, there's not a lot of young eyes watching. Not a lot of teenagers and a lot of early 20-year-olds watching the goddamn Super Bowl. I think our generation might be the last of like the youth that sat down at like 13, 14 years old going, oh, I can't wait for the big game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm around older kids a lot. Zero chatter about the fucking Super Bowl. Like none. Like not a lot of hype, not a lot of excitement going into this kind of a fucking game. And then when it was over, if you look at the score, at the end of the game, what was it, 29-13 or some shit? It's like, oh
yeah, they started opening up a little bit. Both defenses started to get real tired.
Yeah, what happened was that the commissioner gave the Iggy to the coaches. Okay, let's start scoring some points down before we lose the crowd. And
that's an assumption. You lost them at that fucking point. It's fourth in like half of the fourth quarter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But they're trying to. For everybody that says wrestling is stupid for scripting everything, and they should just be like sports and not script anything. Y'all should start scripting your sports better. Because this is bullshit. I would
call Triple H. He can book it for you.
No, don't call Triple H. Let's get a fresh mind on this one. I'm just saying.
Oh my God! We need already with that.
We need Triple H is busy. His plate is full right now. He's got shit going on, and Tony Khan is also busy. We need some fresh eyes and a fresh mind. We need someone who knows the game of football but can make it a work. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really give the people. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. If the NFL really did script this shit. And I'm not saying that they don't have their hands in certain aspects of the game to kind of like, steer things in a particular direction. But if they would just flat out say, yeah, we're just going to start booking from now on and we'll decide who's in the Super Bowl, these two teams would not have been in the fucking Super Bowl. There's no fucking way. The only way that this worked was because, like you said earlier, smash mouth, straight up, American football, play it out, put the ball in the field, let the guys play, let's see what happens. And that's how you get this. But this is how you get a whole bunch of people watching the Super Bowl going, man. Because you're absolutely right.
What happens when you let people who are not fans into it, like just the masses into something?
Well, here's the thing. You got to meet the NFL in the middle on this because the people who watch the Super Bowl don't watch football past the AFC and NFC title game. So it's your sport. For 17 straight weeks, for the first round of the playoffs, for the divisional round, and for the championship round. It's all you. The general public does not watch those games. All you, straight up football, enjoy. That last game is the game that everybody watches. Whether they want to or not. They're just at the house while it's on.
No.
A bunch of
you know what? We can end it here, but do you know why it's not fair? Because you know what used to be the filler in that? Because that's not true. But do you know what used to be the filler in that? The filler was the commercials were amazing. Our longevity of the time, not like 10 commercials out of a fucking whole Super Bowl. There were a lot more commercials that were entertaining to watch. Social gathering, which isn't too much of a thing anymore, where the people who didn't watch football at that time were talking to each other while the real men drank beer and watched the television. right?
The social aspect of
right, the social aspect, that's also gone. So now what you have is the football fan. This is just a joke. There are plenty of women who are more football fans than the actual husband is. That's a real thing. But you have the football fan, then you have the other person who's not a football fan sitting there with their significant other watching the football game. Like, man, this is a really boring game. You're not supposed to be sitting here watching this. You're supposed to be talking to other people until the commercials come back on. Like, that's how this works. It has nothing to do with the game. It's everything else surrounding it.
So your point is that the only reason there's any criticism at all is because they're not distracted. Watching this. Yes,
you're not. For the people that you say that only watch it at this time, they're not supposed to be watching the game. That's not what they're here for. They're here for the fun extracurricular activities, and those activities has completely changed. They're not the same. So those people are going to be fucking bored watching it because the shit that they liked isn't really a thing anymore. It is what it is. God. We're here now, boys.
And you know what? You just gotta, hey, look, the facts are the facts are. You gotta sit there and you have to watch the game.
You have to watch this great fucking defense. One of the greatest defenses I've ever seen in my whole fucking life.
Ever of all time?
The dark side. Oh my God, what a fucking... It's funny too because I haven't really watched a lot of football up until this point. So when I started watching the promos and shit, and they're calling themselves the dark side, they wanted to call us the Legion of Doom, but we want our own name. You know, we're gonna go. We're the dark side.
Isn't that what the Seattle team was? Weren't they the Legion of Boom? That other Seattle
the
team?
Legion of Boom, Doom, whatever the fuck it was called. But that was that Seattle team with Marshawn Lynch on it, and that whole secondary that was just fucking monstrous back then. I can't even, dude. I haven't watched football in so long. I'm over talking shit. I haven't even got to watch football, but. When they were talking about, I do remember the Legion of Doom or Legion of Boom or whatever. So when I'm watching them, I'm hearing them talk about it, I'm like, I'm an old head, right? So I'm like, y'all trying to compare yourself. Y'all nothing like that. Then I watch these dudes play. They different. That team was, bro. I don't remember a football game where I watched the line of scrimmage more in my entire life because that ball never moved from the fucking line of scrimmage. I watched them run a fucking nickel defense, or was it a nickel or a dime? I think there were three linemen, and the rest were linebackers in secondary. They ran the ball up the middle, and mind you, it was wide the fuck open. Not only did the offense have a center guard and tackle blocking the two defensive linemen. So they almost had two people each, but they also had another blocker following the running back, and those two defensive linemen closed it by themselves, stopped them. They had 1 yard for a first down, stuffed them by themselves. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I've never seen.
That's the flip of a coin. You see great defense. I see shitty offense. Like, how does that work? How do you if they put a 3-man front on defense and you can't run the ball with a lead blocker?
Yeah, but okay. And that's, you know what? That's a good point. Because I see one thing, you see another. You see an ass front line. I see a defensive line that is fucking nasty, dude.
But here's the thing, you have to admit, but like in any given 3-man front against a full O-line with a lead tackle and a fucking up-the-middle play. No audibles. They stuck right to the play. They said, fuck it, we have the advantage. They're only giving us 3. We only have to face 3. Worst case scenario, once we split the 3, we have a middle linebacker we have to worry about. Yeah.
We get the first. They were like,
they'll close the gap. Yeah, they'll close in the gap. We just got to get past the 3 to secure our first down, and then we'll just re-rack and see what's going on. Couldn't even do that.
It is now time for the main event of the evening.
The year was 1991. And up until that year, actually, what Super Bowl was that? 1991 was Super Bowl 25. And that was the first year ever that the Super Bowl housed a special guest to perform during the halftime show. In the previous 24 Super Bowls, it had been marching bands and school performances.
Normal football stuff.
Yeah. Or celebrating a Walt Disney film that come out. Something commercially somewhere in the middle. But in 1991, the Super Bowl committee said, nah, we're going to throw something different at Tampa. And on January 27th, 1991, the Walt Disney Company presented New Kids on the Block with some of their Disney characters that were on stage present with them, where New Kids on the Block performed a set list of It's a Small World After All, We Are the World, I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing. And they sing it with a children's choir. But of course, step by step, this one's for the children, their Christmas album song, and It's a Small World After All again at the end. And that was the New Kids on the Block showcasing their brand of entertainment to the world. And that got them thinking, holy shit, we should do that more often. So next year in 1992, Gloria Estefan and the Olympic Committee and some of the Olympic team members of 1980 took the stage. And Gloria Estefan, they did that performance in Minneapolis, Minnesota as the halftime show. You look befuddled right now. Are you okay?
So far, no. Wait, these are the first two Super Bowl performances?
93.
No whites.
No what?
No whites.
Not yet. Well, the whites, the kids on the block were white.
Am I thinking New Kids on the Block? What am I thinking about? Anyway, go ahead. I'm thinking about
Kids on the block. The right stuff. Yeah, New Kids on the Block. They white.
Oh, yeah, they are. I am definitely getting them mixed up with someone else. Holy shit. Okay, never mind. Oh, that's with Marky Mark. Okay. I got you. I got the right people.
No, whoa. That's not Marky Mark. That's Donnie. That's the brother Wahlberg. That's not Mark. That's the older brother. No, that's Donnie Wahlberg. That's the older brother. Mark became his own underwear model self after that. In 93, it was blown wide the hell open when Michael Jackson took the stage at the Rose Bowl. And that's when they showed that video of all the people passing out and all that other garbage. He took them out. In 94, they got America's halftime show. Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Trent, and the Judds came in, laid their soulful country vibes.
American.
In 95, they were doing an Indiana Jones themed kind of Super Bowl, and Patti LaBelle, Tony Bennett, and the Miami Sound Machine, which is Gloria Estefan, coming back to perform again. Diana Ross got the helm in 1996. After her, we went with the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and Jim Belushi, with ZZ Top, James Brown, and Catherine Cryer. Good old-fashioned Americana, okay? 98, Boys to Men. No, it was a salute to Motown, 40th anniversary. So Boys to Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, and Queen Latifah.
Hey.
So 1999, Gloria Estefan comes back again as they do a celebration of soul, salsa, and swing. Gloria Estefan and Stevie Wonder take the stage. 2000, Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Tony Braxton, and Edward James Olmos as the narrator is the Super Bowl halftime show in Atlanta, GA. I don't have to tell Dave, 2001, that's the NSYNC, Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige compilation there. Obviously, one of my personal faves. 02, due to the tragedy of the September 11th attacks, they didn't really do one. Oh, U2 was they did a tribute to 9/11 for their halftime show.
Yeah, if you think that's gonna stop business, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah. 2003, Shania Twain, No Doubt, Sting were a part of that performance. A little Shania Twain action. 04, the infamous 04, Janet Jackson,
Ooh, is this a nip slip?
This is the nip slip. It says Janet Jackson, P. Diddy,
JT?
Nelly, Kid Rock, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Simpson on this particular show. And
Jessica Simpson's
05,
crazy.
Paul McCartney, all on his own. 06, the Rolling Stones. In 07, I guess they got sick of the whiteness and started mixing it up. Here comes Prince in 2007. But
so this is where they're starting to get into their solo performance bag, where it's one person.
Yeah, it's just one person. Well, he was joined by the Florida A&M University Marching Band, but it's basically just him. They had a couple of whites in a row. Then they said, we'll mix it up. We'll do Prince. And they said, oop, we can't do that shit again because next year is Tom Petty and the Heartbreaker. They went Tom Brady.
These are all bangers, though, dude. If
09.
Pieces out of this shit is kind of hard.
In 09, they kept the momentum going and they brought in the boss. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band came in for 09. In 2010, The Who came out. Legendary band.
Is that the first? No, it's not. I was about to say, was that the first rock band?
No, Rolling Stones. I guess you could put
Rolling Stones. Yeah,
band.
I thought there was another one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The Black Eyed Peas got 2011. They came out with Usher.
Wasn't that the Black Eyed Peas era too? They were running.
2011. 2011 was pretty hard for them. Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
2012, headlined by Madonna. But she had a litany of people: LMFAO, Cirque du Soleil performers, Nicki Minaj, MIA, CeeLo Green, Andy Lewis, Aviana High School Drumline. There was a couple of schools here
that's all that era, dude. Holy shit!
Because they weren't gonna let Grandma go up there by herself. They loaded that shit up. 2013, I'll never forget this. Beyonce with the reunion with Destiny's Child. This is when she drained all of the power out of the building and they had to halt the game because the power of the building went outside. Beyonce drained them clean. 2014, Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because that makes sense.
It does. At the time, no. Hold on. At the time, maybe not so much. But
in 2014, I don't know. Yeah,
not so much. But in hindsight, that makes a little bit more sense. Bruno, that yes. That
2015, Katy Perry. I remember that one. She came out on that big lion that walked across the field. I remember that. She also had Lenny Kravitz, Missy Elliott, and the Arizona State University Sun Devil Marching Band with her. 2016. We give it to Coldplay. They were the headliners. It was their Super Bowl, but they were joined by Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson, Gustavo. There's a lot of people here. Those are the names that I know, though. 2017, Lady Gaga descended from the heavens onto the field and shut the building down because that's what Gaga does. Justin Timberlake got his own performance in 2018. That was the one that had everybody pissed off because he was banned along with Janet, and then he got unbanned, but Janet was not, and still isn't to this day. 2019 goes to Maroon 5, but they were joined by Travis Scott, Big Boy from Outkast, and the Georgia State University Marching Band. That takes us into the 2020s, where we start off hot with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez sharing the stage, being joined by Bad Bunny, J Balvin, and Emmy Muniz. 2021 goes to The Weeknd. That was a pretty good show. I like that one. 2022, that was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, and Anderson .Paak. 23 is Rihanna, who did a good job with that one. Apparently, she does not have a fear of heights. I respect that. And 2024, Usher had the deal. Alicia Keys, Jermaine Dupri, her, will.i.am, Lil Jon, Ludacris, Sonic Boom with the South, and of course last year's performance with Kendrick Lamar, when he was joined by Samuel L. Jackson, SZA, Serena Williams, and Mustard. I believe that's DJ Mustard. I don't know why they just wrote him as Mustard.
Yes.
Which takes us to 2026, the headliner, Bad Bunny, Benito. Of course, special appearances by Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, which I have to say it Spanish because that boy sung his goddamn Puerto Rican heart out here. So I listed all that on purpose because I want to give people a greater understanding of what it is we're talking about. Wikipedia actually put this together, that the marching bands and all that stuff, if you take that out, Gloria Estefan, Hispanic, Spanish speaking. She's been in the Super Bowl halftime show 3 times. Justin Timberlake, white as American bread, but he dabbled in some blackness for a few years there. So that's 3 Super Bowl appearances. He's what they call, I've been learning this new phrase, he was a black vacationer for a while. He was white, then he vacationed in the black world for a while, and then the heat got too much, so he became white again. Beyonce has 2. Mary J. Blige has 2. Bad Bunny has 2. Carol Channing 2. Pete Fontaine 2. Lady Gaga 2. Kendrick Lamar 2. Bruno Mars 2. Nelly 2. Usher 2. will.i.am 2. That's just for some of those are the performances that had multiple times at the Super Bowl. So we only really need to talk about the performance for the halftime show because we did a segment earlier in the year or of last year when they made the announcement that he was going to be in the Super Bowl halftime show, that there was this big fuss about the fact, well, he's not an American citizen, okay, but he is. And he's not an English speaking, but he is. And hopefully he doesn't do the whole show in Spanish. He did.
He didn't, and I'm mad about that. He did not
do the whole show in Spanish. Where was
the
the English
show?
part?
The whole Lady Gaga. The whole show was not.
I'm
in
talking about
Spanish.
him, though. I'm talking about him.
No, that counts, and that makes me a little upset. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, let's expand on that, right? So, because for the most part, everything that we saw at this point, while the storytelling was there and the staging was there, and I didn't even know that the grass was people until at the end of the show when the grass started walking off, and I was like, "Oh shit, those are people." But
when they were setting up, I saw it.
I didn't peep that. I messed that. I must have been talking or something. I didn't really notice it. But everything, and we can sit here and we're a little behind now because it happened 2 weeks ago, and every podcast on planet Earth has already broke down. Well, the reason for the when he walked through the sugarcane field, because that's our biggest export, and then the piraguas, and he had the yuccas, and he had this, and he had that, and he had the dancers, and the symbolism of the electrical wiring that it keeps going out, and they have to fix it, and the little boy is a younger version of him, and he's saying, "Look, your dreams came true." He handed a Grammy to his younger self. We can do all the symbolism in the world about what the performance meant. I think everybody at this point has kind of been through all that, so we're not going to spend too much time on that. But a major part of the halftime Super Bowl conversation was Gaga, and was that involvement because there's a line in one of the songs that he was singing before he got to Gaga where it was in Spanish, and the way that it was translated to me is the last line he says before it goes to Gaga is, "This is what you really wanted." And then it goes to Gaga, and it's a white lady singing in English. So even in that moment, despite it, yes, being English spoken words, I feel like even that was a shot of just like, this was his to everybody in this entire show. And I was like, even that. But having said that, I think I agree with you. I don't really feel like I needed that at all.
I didn't need it, and I don't even know what the fuck he's saying. I don't need it. And the only reason why I'm not upset about it is because it was Gaga. It's because it was Gaga. If it was anyone else, I don't know if I would be okay with it. She makes a lot of sense with him. She is the leader of the way that, like, what he believes in, if that makes sense. Like, he's very, like, everyone kind of knows, like Bad Bunny's very fluid with his sexuality and stuff like that. Like, you don't really look at him one way or the other. And then if you look at the stage, there were men grinding on men and shit like that. Like that's just his vibe. That's that's what he was. So when I know that about him, he's done all kinds of things where he's like cross-dressed in a video, and like we know this about him. It is what it is. Like, but he makes it very like normal the way he presents it and stuff like that. So he does it great. It's perfectly fine. So to have seen Gaga on the stage doing the trying her that poor woman trying her best to do a Spanish salsa dance. She tried her best, but for it to have been her, I think I was kind of okay with it. And then we moved past it, and the rest was all Spanish again, so it was fine. But I would have preferred, especially with the other bullshit that was going on, which I'm not even all the way against. I just don't like the way they're deliberately going about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I would have preferred the whole thing to be Spanish from beginning to fucking end. And it looked like it until Gaga came on, and I'm like, fuck. All right, whatever.
Even Ricky did it in Spanish, his portion of the show.
He did it in Spanish as well.
Which I can't tell you how many
He's another one. He's another one who killed a lot of women's hearts when they found out.
Oh, yeah,
he wasn't straight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. It was all over the stage, which is why Gaga, it's okay. And I think anyone else, I would not have allowed it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. To each their own. I didn't like it, even though it was Gaga. I got no problem with Gaga. I love Gaga. Slay Queen. That is my homie. I love me some Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga.
She's phenomenal.
Her performances are off the hook. I didn't need you in here. You were like a sore thumb sticking out. This I don't even know if I take the whole halftime show and delete that one clip, it still hits. I don't know what that was. We didn't need that. And as far as the guys grinding with each other, this is hilarious because when we were watching it live, this is me and Steph watching it. We only really saw the dudes grinding like for a split second. It was like a scene.
It wasn't like all. It was way more Puerto Rican ass everywhere.
But that's the thing.
And they were behind a car door, by the way.
Yes, I was just going to explain that they were by the door, so you can't even see like their whole bodies. You just know they're really close because they're like right here. Right. And it only happened for like a split second. And me and Steph
meet.
They were touching pee-pees like this.
It was sword fight.
Yeah. Look, my head fits into his skin, and his skin fits into my head.
God. Yep.
But they were Chinese finger trapping live on television.
No,
and it only happened. It only happened for like a few seconds, and me and my wife immediately looked at each other. Me and my wife immediately looked at each other and said, "Oh, that's going to be the complaint."
Here it goes. Yeah, that one split second that you can barely see.
And when I tell you the amount of pride that I felt when for the first few days I didn't hear anything about it, and then like the fourth day, all I heard was that. But all the responses to it were crazy because it's just like. Because first of all, the only people that seemed to be bothered by it were white dudes. So every response video was the same. And they all basically just said he had 100 of the finest Spanish asses he could find. That he could find on that stage. Just shaking, just moving. He found some of the most beautiful women on planet Earth. All Latina, I'm sure, from more than just Puerto Rico, but just scattered. Just the finest women he could find. And your only takeaway from this performance was 3 seconds of man on man.
Just meat grinding, dude.
Right here. We said it. We're doing it again. Come out of here. Come out of here. You're going to feel better about yourself. Come out of here. Don't go in there no more. You come out here and you hang out with us.
Come on,
that's
man, have a beer.
Crazy.
Don't touch my meat.
Yeah, well, don't
have a beer.
Give him a can because if you give him a bottle, he's gonna go crazy on that. Just don't hand that man any long neck beers.
Come
you know
on,
what I'm saying?
But don't touch my meat.
Yeah.
You better not touch my meat.
God damn. Goddamn Latinos, you better not touch my meat. What was that thing that Will Ferrell said on Blades of Glory? He said, "Looking's free. Touch is gonna cost." That's it. That's it. That's all it is.
Oh my god! But yes, 1 second. That's literally all it was.
There were so many like takeaway points. The kids sleeping at the wedding on the chairs. Me finding out afterwards that wedding was legit. They legitimately got married at the halftime Super Bowl show, which is absolutely crazy. I want to point as a New Yorker. I don't know. I know it's been 2 weeks, so the word has probably gotten out. And there's a video online on YouTube if you can find it. The scene where Bad Bunny comes out of the casita and he's walking around the field and he's singing, and then he goes to the side of the casita and there's like a bodega and like all this other stuff going on, and there's an old lady that passes him a shot, and he drinks the shot and he thanks the old lady and he continues with his performance. That is, I have the name in front of me, Maria Antonia Tonita K. They call her Tonita. She is the proud owner of I want to get it right, whether or not it's a bar or a restaurant. I think it's like a restaurant bar hangout spot, like a leisure area that is in the Williamsburg Greenpoint area that is still standing to this day. She herself is 85 years old. And for anybody who is not familiar with the geography, when we were kids, me and you, when we were kids, late 80s, early 90s, that section of Brooklyn bled to other neighborhoods, and it was predominantly a Latino community. Predominantly. That section of Brooklyn was predominantly a Latino area. There are still signs of it. If you're from Bushwick or if you're from that area of Brooklyn, Graham Ave, obviously, there's many side streets. There's still some pockets there, but for the most part, all that area, especially Williamsburg and Greenpoint, has been gentrified through the roof. There's barely any Latinos there at all. And she, in fact, has had her area attacked, not physically or violently, but just they've been trying to buy her out. They're trying to get her out of the neighborhood so that they can completely transform the neighborhood. And she has absolutely refused to leave year in and year out. And her kids and her descendants are also part owners. So they're going to fight for that space until the end of time. There's a video on YouTube of what it looks like now, today. And the place is actually called Tonitas, just like the nickname states. And that bar and that restaurant, and everything that happens there, they play pool there. It's a leisure spot. Still decked out Puerto Rican flags, still decked out and everything. And
that sounds lit, man. We gotta go.
I'm thinking of it. Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should go. I would love to do something there and just to interact and all that stuff. At a personal level, it's so crazy because I feel like I've been like barraged with Puerto Rican culture the last few weeks because I just about a week or two before the Super Bowl, I was on the island for the first time. So like I'm getting berated with all this, and then I come back and then this happens, and it's just been like a Puerto Rican vibe for several weeks now. I blame my wife for it not feeling more Puerto Rican more of the time because she's the Puerto Rican here. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican too, but I'm a bowl of soup. Yeah. She's supposedly the purebred that sits over here.
She like speaks it everything, like never know.
Speaks what?
So your wife speaks it and everything. You just would never know.
Yeah, I know. And, it's funny because it only really comes out like I'm almost surprised when it happens.
When she's in the atmosphere, it comes out.
When it comes to her, it comes out, which is what
right.
I used to experience that a lot with Mom. Because with us, she really spoke a lot of English. She would translate every now and then different things. But Mom never really did a lot of that either. Like, she tried in the beginning when we were younger. She tried to, give us the Spanish 101. She even tried, I don't know if she tried it with you. I don't know if you have memory. But with me, I remember for a short period, she was trying to do that little tactic that they do where they're like, I'm only going to speak to you in Spanish, and I want you to only respond to me in Spanish. And I'm like, yeah, well, good luck with that. A lot of shit's not going to get done fucking with me like that. That's not going to happen. And it didn't work. I was even arrested in Mexico and still didn't pick up the language. So there it is, right? So it's not going to happen at this point. I used to always be told when I was a kid, you need to learn the language because when you get older, you're going to need it. And then I married a Spanish speaker and just decided, I'm never going to need it. That's it. I married my interpreter. I'm fine. She goes with me everywhere. We're good. And I was just talking to Lily about this last night, that my flight to Puerto Rico was the first flight I had ever been on. And remember, I've been to Mexico, I've California, I've Texas. I've been to places where Spanish speaking is not exactly out of the norm. This was the first flight I ever took where everything that was discussed on the plane was then immediately translated into Spanish. I'd never seen that before. When we were going to Puerto Rico, everything was translated. And then when I got there, obviously we told the story where everybody knew English for the most part fucking anyway. So to hear the conversations that happened after the Super Bowl, because remember the end piece of the Super Bowl, the flags come out and he's just naming countries. Peru, Chile, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Brazil. He's going down the line of all these Latin countries, but at the end of it, he says that we're all American. And everyone's fucking heads exploded. Because they're like, wait. They're not all America? They're not from America? This is America. It's like, no, bitch, this is the United States of America. America is all this shit. And if you really want to be confused, you should have seen people's heads explode when one of the countries that he mentioned was Canada. Because Canada is not Latin America. No, but that wasn't his point. He didn't say Latin America. He said we are all America. So Canada is a North American country. They are Americans by definition. So is everybody south of us. Everybody in Central America, everybody in South America, all America. One giant continent split up in 3 different divisions, North, Central, and South, but pretty much all
So
America.
he used the old geometry. Oh my Jesus. I'm proving my own point here.
Yeah.
He's using the old geography verbiage to throw off the unintelligent, as you can see here.
And you know what? It's so funny because you say unintelligent, but and you're not wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying, though, is that it goes to the mindset of us as citizens of the U.S. that we know the continents, right? For the most part, no, we do. Trust me, I'm in these schools a lot. I'm telling you, everybody involved knows the deal. But everyone in this country looks at that map and goes, oh, yeah, those are American countries for sure. But I mean, like, but like, really, though? Like, are they really, like, there is an unspoken agreement amongst a lot of people where it's like, yeah, they're in North America or they're in Central America or they're in South America. But I mean, like, we're Americans. You know what I mean? Like, we're Americans. They're not really Americans, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's like how New Yorkers feel about the state of New York. If you go to another state and you go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm from New York, they go, oh my God, really? Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx? And they go, oh no, Buffalo. I'm from Albany, or I'm from Rochester, or I'm from it's like, because those other places in the scale of popularity don't fucking matter. When you go to another state and say, I'm from New York, they're assuming skyscrapers and bridges.
The city is what they're,
The city, they're not, you don't go. That's why when other New Yorkers from other locations, from Binghamton, from Syracuse, they don't go to other places and say, I'm from New York. They always say the full thing. Oh, I'm from Syracuse,
right.
New York.
I'm from Philly. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Right.
I'm from, not PA. Like, I'm from PA. And then you assume Rocky Balboa and shit.
Yeah, because if you go, I'm from PA. Oh, word? Like, how close to Philly are you? Like, nigga, I'm in Harrisburg. I'm like, I'm like 9 hours away.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near that
No
shit.
fucking no.
But you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. When people say I'm from New York,
because
they automatically assume
and
Brooklyn,
now
Manhattan.
I extrapolate that to the continents, right? Everyone who's in this country is aware that there's a South America and a Central America and a North America. They just don't acknowledge it as America.
You're not a
That's
citizen.
just they're not right. They don't. As somebody on the internet tried to convince me, it's not the same. We all have our own individual leaders, our own set of laws, our own set of regulations. We're not all on the okay, right? But based on because that's true, right? We consider ourselves American, and by what he said, Chileans would be Americans, but Chileans have their own political system and their own way of living and their own thing. They don't affect us in any way. I can see that point. But to give you the devil's advocate play, because you can use that same bullshit argument in this very country on its own, right? We're all in the United States of America.
But we have state laws and regulations.
But my mayor, exactly, my mayor, my governor, my Senate representative can't say shit in Iowa, and Iowa can't say shit in Florida, and so on and so forth.
And even people in Florida can't say shit in Florida because Florida don't give a fuck about it.
I swear to God, their state flag should just be two middle fingers. Like
two middle, dude, that would be amazing. Like,
and everyone would be like, we get it. Because it's Florida, we understand. Or maybe just a picture of Mickey Mouse doing that, right? Like there's a
maybe
while he's standing in front of an orange tree, just like that, and just so there's so many different arguments and so many different ways that shit goes. Where it's just like, well, he's not American, okay, but he is. And I just recently sat down, and this is so true, and I can't believe like this is the kind of trip that I'm on because I'm curious. I sat through like a 25-minute documentary about the history of Puerto Rico. And I'm just watching that shit, and I'm like, God damn. As far as I'm concerned, dues are paid, man. I'm like, God damn. And now I understand why they never became a state. Because they refused it. They said, no. I have just found out why commonwealths and why territories even exist. Because they all resisted. They all saw what happened to Hawaii. Because Hawaii got muscled into being a state. And they said, fuck no. We're good. We're just... Whatever this is that we're doing right now, like we don't need to get married. We'll just keep dating. It's all right. We don't need to get the courts involved. Okay, let's just love each other the way that we're loving each other right now. We don't need to. I'm like, thank God they didn't do that shit. I love the fact that I can go to Puerto Rico without a passport, but fuck, that would have been irritating as fuck to have to deal with. So, any other comments you want? Anything other standout moments of the halftime Super Bowl show that you want to bring up here? I didn't even have this up the whole time, so fucking.
No, I mean not really. I mean, I to be honest with you, I even hesitate to bring it up because I really don't want to talk about it. To be honest with you, but like that secondary performance, I started watching some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I'm more annoyed at the fact that we're literally deliberately trying to create a divide for no fucking reason because it was kind of fire. Like I was getting annoyed at how good it was. And I'm like,
okay.
Can y'all just shut the fuck up and do it? Like this is listen, I actually have I've always respected Bad Bunny, but I have a newfound love for Bad Bunny recently, like this year last year. I had this found and it just so happened that last album he dropped was absolute flames. I've been still to this day. I listen to it whole album straight through. Don't know a fucking word he's saying. I've listened to the whole thing, and the fact that in the Super Bowl he played 90% of those songs, even better. If this was done by anybody else, my wife would have loved it. Maybe I would have respected it, but I don't. If there was an alternative thing that I could have watched that with music that I would prefer, then I might watch that one. It wouldn't have anything to do with it. So, I don't speak Spanish, but you're telling me that someone else is holding a halftime show that's like completely rock and roll? Sure, I might watch that one instead. Like that sounds fire. Like I know what they're saying, and I'll watch it. I don't understand all they needed to do in this other performance is have an eagle caw every 15 minutes, and we would just have the most racist shit. we'd ever. I don't understand why we had to do Real America. This is for Americans. This one's for you, and like it's just like, dude, what are you guys doing? Just play the music. It's good music. They fucking killed that anthem with the guitar in the beginning. Oh my! I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, why do we have to draw a line here? Why can't just? And obviously, I know the answer. People are just fucking retarded. It is what it is. I stay away from it. But my point is, I don't even want to talk about it, even though I just did, because I don't like the fact that they could have completely turned away from trying to create a deliberate divide and just put something alternative up for people who just may want to watch a different halftime show. I don't see the problem in that. I really don't. And it's fucking stupid.
To your point, you're referring to the Turning Point USA performance that took place, in which that is, I was getting ready to end it soon. I'm glad you brought this back up because I did have something for this. The performance that you're referring to, Gabby Barrett, Lee Brice, Brantley Gilbert, and of course the headliner of the whole shebang, Kid Rock, which I don't care what anybody says. That live performance of Ball with the Ball is always awesome. So much energy. I've loved it. I loved it in the 90s. I love it now. There's just something about that.
I remember in the morning. Remember back when we would go to school, they would MTV and stuff would always have those like playlists before kids went to school. They would listen to before they go, and I always remember that video coming on before going to school. Yeah.
That shit is hot, son. Oh,
so good.
That shit's hot. Now, here's the thing. First and foremost, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and it will be quick because I only had a little small thing. This isn't the first time the Super Bowl halftime show has ever been counter-produced. There's been programs against the halftime show before. Okay? In 1992, the most infamous version of this was the year, I forgot what performance that we had, 92. I brought it up earlier. What was this? Is this Marchi? No, this is Gloria Estefan when she came back with the 1980 Olympic team, the hockey team. In Living Color, did a halftime performance during that time period where you could watch a very special limited episode of In Living Color during the time period of the halftime show. That was an option on the table, did great ratings. We've had that before. The infamous Puppy Bowls. We had more than one Puppy Bowl that happened during the halftime show. You switch your channel, you put on the Puppy Bowl, you go, oh, for about 15 minutes, and you go back to Smash Mouth football.
Man, what's wrong with it?
We had, if you're a wrestling fan, Halftime Heat, 1999, The Rock versus Mankind, empty arena.
Oh, they made a match for the.
They made a match for that for the halftime Super Bowl show, and they did it years later. NXT had a halftime heat where they did that 6-man tag with all those indie guys just doing flips and shit. But this has happened before. The only reason this made any kind of noise is because, and I can't stress this enough, the racism aspect, the ignorance aspect, all sprinkled in. It's Turning Point. It wasn't like there was a rise from a group of people. Turning Point tried to create a rise against this. So it wasn't organic. This was something that was drummed up. And it was drummed up for everything that Dave just said a second ago about the divide and the point that he just made. That was the whole point of it. Because for as much as people would love to say that we should be a unified front, unfortunately, the majority of people want the split. They want the differentiation. They don't want everybody to be on the same page. There was no reason. You take away Turning Point and just leave that performance for what it is for a cool 15 to 18 minutes.
It was good.
It's just a goddamn performance between people who just sang a different genre of music and perform it well. I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, there was a few lines with the one guy. What was that one guy where he was just like, try to get his name. I want to get his name. Fuck that. I want to make sure I say his fucking name. It was the guy, Brantley Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the guy, the one with the guitar? He was like strumming his guitar, and it's like, I can't tell my kid that she's a he, because I'll get canceled or whatever the fuck he's saying. I was just like, all right, you know what though? It does kind of sound like a country song when you think about it, though. The fact that he's upset that he can't tell his kids that transsexual used to be something else does sound traditionally country. I'll give it that. It does sound like if you take that same problem and put it in 1975, that song is going to sound exactly the fucking same. So there's some consistency there. But
they're saying on average, Bad Bunny's viewers was 128 million views during his Super Bowl performance, and the Turning Point had about 5 to 6 million. And to be honest with you, although you may say, oh well, Bad Bunny shit on the Turning Point performance, and I look at it and go, well, you know what? Unfortunately, I feel like there's an asterisk because I feel like that's 5 to 6 million people deliberately showing that they're racists. But if we can move that out the way, that's 5 to 6 million more people who were entertained by something they prefer not to watch. Like they had an alternative. I don't see that as a bad thing.
I actually see it as a problem in the other direction. If you take away the agenda and just counter program,
they have way more viewers.
The same people who watched Bad Bunny would have watched that. Not all of them, because there was a different demographic, but there are certain people who wouldn't have given a shit about who doesn't give a shit about the agenda, who might have watched it once you put a line in the sand and you force them to make a choice.
I think without the racism shit, they hit 20 million, no problem.
Easy. I actually think that's a higher number because there were a lot of whites and a lot of conservatives and a lot of Republican individuals who like-minded individuals who didn't mind the Bad Bunny thing and watched it. And because of that, because of that imaginary line in the sand, where it's like, well, if you watch them, you can't watch us. All right, I guess I'm not watching you then. I'm going to watch this one. And like that video I showed you of the girl who was at the Super Bowl but was watching Turning Point on her phone. I'm like, what are you doing?
There's no way her headphones were loud enough for her to actually hear what was going on her phone. There's no way. And she's closer to the speakers than anybody else because she was up in the nosebleed. So I know she was right under. There's no way. Whatever. It was a video, but
it's like those dummies who buy the sports jersey just to burn it. It's like, well, you already paid for the fucking jersey. Like, what does it matter at this point?
But that's what just
you
sucks,
wipe your ass with it.
It's like I wish I could see that Instagram video you showed me and go, man, it's awesome that that lady had an alternative because she didn't know what was being said. So she had something else fun to watch during halftime. Unfortunately, I see it and go, she's just drawing a line in the sand and letting people know where she stands. And that's weird. Like, you can just fucking listen to your music. I shouldn't have to look at this video and go, oh, that girl, I know what she's about now.
And that's the fucked up part because she doesn't talk in the video. She's just dancing to the song or whatever she's
singing the song. Yeah.
She's singing the song. So what you're talking on is the perception, which is funny because for all we know, she might have just been paying attention. She really liked it, right? It might not have been a line of the same thing for her. But because you don't explain it, because that's the setup by both entities before you get into it, the assumption is you made your choice.
You made your choice. Exactly.
That's the team that you're choosing. Yeah, I know. It's just it is what it is. It is what it is.
Bad Bunny fucked it up. That shit was amazing.
And we're gonna do it again next year because I don't even know who it is, but I just know whoever it is at this point is gonna be a problem for someone.
I don't know, man. I feel like the whites kind of like, also, oh god damn it! Why am I drawing a blank? I'm so mad at myself. Green Day. Shout out to Green Day. Cause that set, did you watch it?
I saw some of it on YouTube.
Dude, that set was so good. It took me and my wife back, dude. We were singing those songs, and then we're at the end of their little playlist that they were going out there with American Idiot. We're singing, and we both just look at each other like, bruh, this song aged amazingly. Like, this was fucking
the timing of it,
everything that's going on with the halftime show being what it was, and it was being split, and like seeing Green Day up there at this day and age still saying, nope, I'm not a part of that bullshit. You know what I mean? It's fucking. It was
Older,
fucking
wiser, and
amazing.
still the same stance.
Amazing. That play, that I would say that could have been Super Bowl too, because the Green Day fucking, oh my god, they had so many bangers. They did a good job. That shit was good.
Yeah, I am. I'm inching closer and closer. We'll end this one here, but I'm inching closer and closer to breaking that one promise, dude, because it is becoming, it's hitting too close to home. It's becoming an issue, and to be honest with you, I'm starting to feel at this point like I'm running from it, like I'm avoiding it on purpose because like I said, I've been editing a lot of previous episodes, and I talked about George Floyd. I talked about Me Too. There were a lot of topics that I hit where I was able to keep them non-political. It was more of a morality thing. It was more of a right and wrong thing, and that was the way that I always phrased those topics. But the ice shit, everything else that's going on with the line in the sand and stuff, I feel like it's starting to become a topic of conversation for me that I don't know. It's bubbling. There's something I don't know because it's happening in a lot of places. It's happening a lot here, and it's even down where you're at. Like you're more in a residential area, and we went to the store, and there's a protest happening there. So I was just like, it's all.
Yeah, they were just screaming at the snow. They didn't like the ice on the floor.
Yeah, that's a different type of ice. It's a melt, you fuck.
Melt.
But it's becoming like. It's becoming a topic in schools, which I don't even know. You know, you can have your own feelings about that or whatever, but it's becoming an unavoidable topic of conversation. And I don't know. At some point, I feel like it's going to have to come to a head where I'm going to have, but to have it, like I have to make sure that I like because with the other topics that I talked about before, there was a ton of research done for that because I wanted to present an argument that I felt like was like. Really well thought out, really well positioned. So like I might have to do the same thing for that, but I do feel myself getting a little closer. That could be something that I do just me on the off chance that like, or you could be a part of it if you want. I don't know how you feel about that. You can let me know, but like I don't. I could leave you out of it and just do it myself. I don't know. However you feel about that, but I just feel like it's starting to become almost bothersome for me to not. Because now I'm starting to feel like I'm ducking it, and I don't want to feel like I'm ducking anything.
You ain't trying to feel pussy?
Because you know what it is I think the reason why I've been avoiding the conversation is because for this particular version of the topic, I don't feel like I could do it without sounding political. Because this is because you could do the morality thing, you can do the right and wrong conversation, but at some point, all roads lead to that. Like for instance. There's a story that I don't think you were a part of the show yet. Not sure, or if I did it with you. Do you remember when we talked about Uvalde, the school shooting in Texas? Was that with you, or was that before your time?
Probably. I don't know.
I can't remember. Well, the head police officer that was in charge of the situation at the scene at the time was arrested at the time, and they had pressed charges. And his court case finally took place recently, and he was, they said he was innocent of the charges.
Was this the guy that stopped people from running in?
Not only stopped people from going in, but did not actively engage the shooter. He kept the police back while the kid was in there murdering kids. They didn't even engage. He's on camera with the people not engaging to the point where like on camera you can hear the gunshots and people are standing around not even with their guns in hand. They're like using hand sanitizer to like clean up and they're just chilling. And he had people outside preventing other adults from coming in to come get their kids. It's a whole mess. And the parents basically wanted his head for that because there were far more lives that were lost that day than should have been. It was because of him. And they found him not guilty of the charges because of whatever fucking reason. Again, the research has to be done, but those kids died that day, and because of the technicalities, some sort of legal whatchamacallit, he gets to go home. And I don't know where home is for him, but wherever it is, it needs to not be home in the morning. Because if the court's not going to do it, that's the state of Texas, brother. Someone's someone's knocking on the door. His name is Karma. So you better get yourself a nice U-Haul truck and figure out what's next, because it ain't going to be there. But there's a lot of things happening right now that I've just been skating away from it. And we're getting closer to WrestleMania season, so I know that I'm going to get wrapped up in that very soon. So I don't want to feel like I'm trying to skate by on shit. So I don't know. It's just a thought in my head. I'll put that out in the ether. Real quick, also, before we go, I'm not going to be able to. I was going to do a stream for the Elimination Chamber. I'm not going to be able to do that. Plans for my son's birthday are extending further than we had planned, but that's a good thing. I'd rather do that than stream. So I'm not going to do the stream for the Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania to me is too big of a fucking. I'm focusing on WrestleMania. So I'm not going to really be doing the stream. So I'm kicking around some other ideas. Maybe a Raw, maybe a SmackDown, maybe a Saturday Night Swing event. If not, definitely Backlash. But we'll figure it out. But I definitely want to. I'm so curious to how that works. I want to try it. I'm going to be on the kick, like all the cool kids.
Yeah, look at you
streaming and doing the deal. So it should be good. So anyway, let me put this back over here. I've been trying a new device tonight, guys. So let me know how it went, because this has actually been very freeing to have this in front of me for once, and it's not on the camera, so that's good too. So that is the end of that. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to start editing up, getting all this stuff done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing. And of course, thank you guys for enjoying. I want you guys to really go check out the YouTube channel for all those older episodes. Catch up. There's a lot more coming down the pike. We'll see.
Like drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.